Isabel had the chance to discuss the current situation in Niger as well as the anti-Western sentiment in the region with RT Africa Bureau Chief Musa Ibrahim.
There is a culture of resistance, of liberation in the west of Africa. People know that the superficial demands for democracy are not enough to just go to the polls and cast your vote as the West would like people to do. What people want is to gain back their wealth, back their uranium, their gold, their iron, their phosphate, their oil, their gas. And this scares the West because this means the true democracy will take place in Africa when people actually own their own land and the wealth of Africa does not go untaxed, unsupervised from the mines in Niger to the banks of Paris and the financial sector in Britain.
Well, yeah, you bring up good points because Africa, the continent, is full of resource-rich nations that don't see any of that wealth. Now, we heard this similar sentiment, this sort of echoing of Thomas Sankara and Muammar Gaddafi at the Russia-Africa summit. And most recently, of course, we hear this solidarity with the coup in Niger. Mali and Burkina Faso, as you mentioned, say that they consider an attack on Niger an attack on them. Now, they also cited concerns of Niger becoming like Libya. Can you outline what that scenario would look like?
Well, I would encourage your viewers to just go back to 2011 and listen to the two dominant discourses at that time. There is the West's discourse, which said, oh, we are bringing democracy to Libya, we are protecting civilians, we are rebuilding it as a modern country for human rights, we are situating it in the international community to be a safe place for Libyans and Africans and for the Mediterranean bases. We are bringing prosperity to the country. And then the Gaddafi Pan-Africanist discourse, which said, no, what will happen is total destruction of Libya, robbing of Libya's oil, the terrorist organizations dominating the country, continuation of civil and tribal conflict. Libya will become a center of instability and danger for the whole of the Sahara and Sahel region and the continent. 12 years after these discourses were put forward, which discourse proved beyond any reasonable doubt to be the accurate discourse. All of this diversity, apparent diversity of the West, actually comes into one place. They all cannot live or survive one day without the wealth of Africa. I'm hoping that the West will come to its senses and realizes that maybe it should find a way to coexist with the rest of the world instead of